Hello, welcome to Cam's Arduino tutorials. Today we'll be using the soil hygrometer for the Arduino, this thing here, along with this, to measure some soil moistures with my Arduino. So, let's get right to it. So before we get to hardware, I'd like to explain how this thing works. This measures the resistance of electricity in the soil, and remember that water is a good conductor. So if there is lots of water in the soil, there will be less resistance, and if there is less water, there will be more resistance. And so we use this thing right here to read those values and to make it work with the Arduino. So let's start with hardware now. As we can see here, I've got 2 pins on this side and 4 pins on this side. The 2 pins here will connect to this thing, and then the 4 pins here will connect to the Arduino. I've got one called VCC, one called ground, one called D0, and one called A0. We will ignore the D0 pin, and we'll connect the A0 pin to an analog pin on the Arduino. The VCC will go to the 5 volts on the Arduino, and the ground will go to the ground on the Arduino. Now I'll wire that up really quick. Okay, let's take a quick look at software now. As we see here, we've got some variables up here. This is pretty straightforward. I think I'm just going to move down to the void loop today. As you can see here, we read the value from the pin A0, analog 0, and the variable soil moisture acquires that value. And then, as you can see here, here's an important part. We have a map function. See, what I've done here is I've tested this on completely dry dirt and completely saturated dirt, and I've calculated, I got the numbers through the serial monitor, and I've used a map function to turn it into a percentage. So when it was completely wet, I got an analog value of 235, and I assigned that to 100%. And when it was completely dry, I got an analog value of 990, and I make that equal to 0%. So that's the map function, and I reassign soil moisture, so it just changes the value. And then I print that again, and I have a delay here, just so that the serial monitor doesn't get too flooded with numbers. And that's it. I think it should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so I've got my pot of dirt here. I've got my code in my Arduino. Everything's ready to go. I'm going to click Upload. And I'll click Serial Monitor after it's uploaded. And then I'll take my sensor and I will stick it into the soil. And I'll get a percentage of about 24%. I watered this dirt a few days ago, and it's been drying out for a while now, so that makes sense. So that's how that project works. I hope it's useful for you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. And if you have any comments, please post them below, and I'll be there to answer them. Thank you.